So
Yeah,
pretty cool here with Ethan Brosh. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
So congratulations on Conspiracy. It just came out.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to finally be at this point of the process. It's been, it took a long time.
Now, it's got to be a little bit bittersweet putting on a CD now, you know? I mean, you don't get a chance.
Oh, yeah.
You don't get a chance to go to the stores anymore and go and say, "There's my CD on the shelf." You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah, I miss that. And, I miss it. Not even that. I just miss going to a record store and looking at some CDs. And, sometimes when, if I do find a record store and I look for some stuff, I feel like I'm weird, like I'm the only one left in the world who's still doing that, and I'm left behind everybody else.
You know, I mean, that was one of my great escapes when I was a kid. I mean, there was a place called Record Theater around here, and there was a local chain, and you would just go there and spend hours, you know what I mean, just looking around at the music, and I'd just pick stuff out of the blue just because, all right, the CD cover looks cool, and it sounds like it might have some good songs on it.
Exactly, yeah. That's how I found out about Iron Maiden to begin with, you know, just seeing, like, all the great artwork that Derek Riggs did for them with Eddie and everything, and that's what got me into metal to begin with, you know, and that's what made me pick up the guitar in the first place. So it was something really cool about that period of time.
Well, that was back when you were 11 when you decided to pick out an Iron Maiden CD, is that right?
Yep, that's it, yeah. I was just a kid, you know, but I was just fascinated by those awesome drawings of Eddie and had to pick it up, had to listen to it. So,
you know, I was checking out Conspiracy, and it has an 80s rock vibe going to it for sure, man.
Yeah. Well, you know, I guess this is such a huge part of me that no matter what I do, it'll end up sounding like that. So.
Now, I was checking out your video, Tomb of the Gods. I mean, did you actually get to go to Mars to shoot that?
Pretty much. Pretty much. It does look like that, right? It's in an undisclosed location, but, you know, it was not a green screen or whatever. It just, you know, some people ask me, like, is that, you know, how did you do it? Like, is it a green screen? And I'm like, no, the whole thing is real.
Yeah, man, it's a great video. It was really cool.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a video that I'm very excited to put out there, and I hope that I'll get some YouTube views for that. You know, it's nowadays it's getting harder and harder to get the viewers and the views and the followers and all that stuff.
I think there's too much stuff out there now. You know, I mean, everyone's got that. They can only look at something for 15 seconds before something else caught their eye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly, and everyone has a phone with a video camera, and before you know it, it's already on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. So there are literally millions of videos going up there every single day. So it is getting harder and harder.
See, and that's kind of a shame too, though. I mean, because any person who thinks that they have some kind of musical talent can go ahead and throw a video up there now, and it just plugs everything up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I'm totally with you on that. You know, I'm not a fan of how things work nowadays. Let's just put it that way.
You know, but, I miss MTV. You know, I mean, I miss going to a certain thing where they're showing videos that they picked that they know have a chance of becoming something. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, this was I had that conversation with Max Norman, the guy who mixed my album, and we're saying, you know, this, like, the whole label thing back then, it's like, it was not a perfect filter by any means, but it still kept a lot of the stuff that really shouldn't be there out of the game. Well, at least in heavy metal, I guess.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I heard that the Tomb of the God song actually came to you when you were giving somebody a guitar lesson. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. I was working with a student named Chris Reynolds, who's becoming a good guitar player himself. And this was a while ago. And, you know, there's a lot of students that ask me about modes. You know, that's a topic that has a lot of confusion around it in music theory and how to apply modes to, you know, to one's playing. And there's a mode called the Phrygian mode, which is it's a type of a scale that has a very Middle Eastern kind of sound to it. And it's basically you take the major scale and you just you do something to it, and you just start it on a higher note, and you get what's called the Phrygian mode, which sounds Middle Eastern. And as a result, this is something that's pretty typical in heavy metal. You know, combining the sound of distorted guitars and huge drums with a scale that has that Middle Eastern twist to it. So it was something that I just explained to that student, and I started showing him examples and just improvising some riff on the spot. And bang, just that riff, the Tomb of the Gods, just showed up. And once we finished the lesson, I just started playing a melody over it, and there you go. That's a tune that I'll be playing live probably for the rest of my life. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of those classes that get cut short. It's just like, hey, kid, I appreciate your time. I appreciate, you know, you want the guitar, but I got something more important to do right now. You gotta.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I try to be more professional than that, but yeah, you do sometimes end up feeling like that, you know, like, oh, I really got to start working on this right now, but I still have to finish this lesson. So yeah, I've been there many times in the past.
Now, you do something pretty cool. I noticed that you actually give personalized lessons from Skype, so no matter where you are, you can go ahead and teach a student, right?
Yeah, I don't do it all too often. I do it sometimes when people are far away, and that's the only way of doing that. But there's still nothing like somebody sitting right in front of you. And, yeah, it's a different dynamic altogether.
No, I'm just saying in general, I mean, that's a pretty unique thing to go ahead and have a guitar legend such as yourself to be able to teach somebody that.
Oh, thank you.
You're nowhere near, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you know, if I can help anyone with their guitar playing and they're serious enough to actually take lessons, then, yeah, sometimes it works real nicely.
See, that's one of the double-edged swords about technology there. I mean, you know, there's so many drawbacks, but it has so many pluses.
Yeah.
When you can do something like that.
Exactly, and actually the riff you were just talking about of Tomb of the Gods, that was a Skype lesson where that riff was born, so...
Yeah, I definitely would have had a bad connection that day if I were you. Then I would have been like, "Oh, Skype's freezing up." Close the computer. Get you next time, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Because my memory is terrible too. You know, so if I don't stay on it, you know, half an hour later it's all gone.
So now this is an instrumental CD.
Sounds good.
Now, you just put out a CD that is completely instrumental. Do you think that people are going to be able to do that in rock and roll, say, 20 years from now?
Well, I think that I don't really think people can do it nowadays. So God only knows what will happen 20 years from now, but I don't really see anybody doing the instrumental stuff, and I'm not really counting all these people on YouTube that just put out one song or whatever, and they just take some beat that they got on their computer and then they play to it. But yes, that is instrumental music, but to really put albums together and spend so much time and so much money and really devote 100% of your energy to it, and then go on the road and actually face the realities of being on the road, and what you end up playing is an instrumental set. You know, that's something that's not really happening so much anymore, and there's not a lot of guys that still do it. So I don't know. I mean, 20 years from now, I mean, things change like on a monthly basis with social media and how things are happening. So I don't really see the instrumental thing happening nowadays anymore, but hopefully as time goes by, maybe it'll have its own niche again, and I don't know. One can only hope.
Now, from the current list of musicians that are out there, I mean, do you see any guitar gods, so to speak? I mean, I'm not counting people that's been doing. You can't put Slash or Zakk Wylde or anybody that's still alive in that category. I'm talking let's say from 2000 and up. I mean, you don't hear guitar solos or anything like that anymore.
Yeah, not as much. I mean, you sometimes you do hear them, but I am not a fan of most of the things that I'm hearing. You know, like it's a new generation of people that are playing fast and doing all kinds of pyrotechnics, and they don't even really understand that most of it came from Yngwie Malmsteen, and I don't know. It's just it's a different scene altogether.
Yeah, I mean, I totally know what you're saying. I mean, it's so crazy to think that who are these kids going to listen to years from now? You know, I mean, I just took my son to Guns N' Roses. He's 6. I'm taking him to Metallica. You know what I mean? Like, who is he going to go take his kid? You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. That is the scariest thought, you know, because we keep seeing all these legends like now dying, you know, like with Dio and with like all these people that were such icons, and now they start disappearing on like in an alarming rate. So the biggest thing about it, I mean, it's inevitable for those people to disappear, you know, as time goes by. But the thing is, there is no continuation, and that's what's really troubling me. And I hope that that I can have some kind of a contribution to the music industry and to bring some melody and some songwriting, and I don't know, but the way things look right now, it's a pretty scary looking scene.
Now, for some, you're young. I mean, you're in your 30s. The people that you work with are noticeably older, but they're rock icons. I mean, George Lynch, Dave Ellefson, the Peach Brothers, Michael Sweet. Just to name a few. Yeah,
because I don't know. That's like I heard that kind of music from a very early age, and it's just in my DNA, and it's the thing that I love the most, and I never really changed in that way. You know, I mean, there's a lot of other types of music that I have appreciation for, and I've learned about a lot of different things in music, but my core hard rock, my core love for hard rock just never ever changed, and it's only growing stronger as time goes by, you know. And I don't want to be one of those artists that just, you know, completely changes and say that now I've matured and now, you know, things sound completely different. You know, I still want to keep the intensity and the integrity of that music, you know, just like I had when I was a teenager. And that's why, you know, the people that I look up to and the people that I listen to. Now I'm fortunate to get to work with a lot of them. But so I guess I don't really have much of an interest working with people that are not into that style of music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Now, what are the chances you getting some of these icons that you work with and putting together a super group, so to speak?
Say that again, please.
I said, what are the chances of getting some of these icons that you work with here and putting together a super group, so to speak? You know, like Sons of Apollo or Art of Anarchy. You know, somebody that's just got a full band of great musicians.
You know what? It could happen. It may happen at some point. The issue with these types of bands is that with those players, everyone has a lot on their plate, and it's just very hard to get everyone's schedule to line up. And I know this is what Michael Sweet wants to do. Have a band with him singing, with Joel Hoekstra from Whitesnake playing guitar, with me playing guitar as well, and then have Todd Kearns, Slash's bass player, play bass, and Will Hunt, who played in Motley Crue and I think plays with Evanescence. He wanted to have all these guys in his band, and it's a difficult thing to line up.
Right.
Even for someone like Michael Sweet, you know, who has all the contacts and everything, and everyone would love to work with him and participate, but it's just the reality of it is tricky. Now, I would love to be in a band like that, and I would love to possibly make a band like that one day. But at this point, I'm not even really thinking about it. You know, I'm like, I have my own band, and we're very, very close friends, and we have fun on stage. And then on my records, you know, I can have some of those guys that I look up to participate in on the records too.
Well, I mean, your work is phenomenal. I mean, it'd be great if you were able to put that together with Michael Sweet, but on your own. I mean, you're one of the top-notch guitar players that there is out there.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, you know, when I just gave you a call back, your phone doesn't ring like a regular. Is that you playing guitar? I mean, I didn't hear a ring.
Oh, you got my message. It went to voicemail. Yeah, that is me playing guitar. That is, it's been there for like 10 years like that. The same greeting. Yeah.
Oh, that was your. I thought that was. You know, instead of a ring, that's what you got. I was like, man, how do you set that up?
Oh no, it went straight to voicemail, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a solo that I did on one of the Angels of Babylon records, and you know, some people when they get to my voicemail, some people love it, some people absolutely hate it. I know my doctor was a very old man, and he absolutely hated it. Kept telling me to change it. But you know what? I hear both good and bad about it, so I just find it all amusing.
Now, I understand you're about to start touring, is that right?
Yes, actually, a week from tomorrow. Hitting the road with my band, and we're supporting Ross the Boss, original guitar player of Manowar. And yeah, the first show is in Solersville, PA, and I played there only one other time, and it's when I was on tour with J.T. Lee, and we had the most amazing show there, and now it's going to be the first night of the tour. So very much looking forward to it, but the fact that it's now a week away, this is the time where I'm getting nervous about everything that I still haven't prepared for its tour.
Right.
Yeah. See,
that's one thing people don't understand is, like, when you're on tour, it is work. It's not a vacation, man. It is every day.
Oh, yeah.
Your full day is full of sound checks, meet and greets, scheduling a time to eat, interviews. You know, I mean, you know, figuring out the route to the next town.
Exactly. You know, George Lynch told me one time. He said they don't pay us to play; they pay us to get there.
Right.
And he was telling me that after a very long story, a very long horror story of trying to get from one place to another, with flights canceled and being stranded in places and whatever. And it's tough, It's tough to get from point A to point B, and the reality of touring, sometimes the routing doesn't even make sense. It's zigzagging all over the place. Like even the first three nights of this coming tour, I live in Boston. I have to go to Pennsylvania for the first show. Then the next night, I have to come back all the way over here and a little bit north to get to New Hampshire. And then the next night, we're playing in Brooklyn, New York, so we have to go all the way back south. So, zigzagging, that's 3 days in a row. So,
Yeah, it definitely can get a little hectic, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, but you know what? It's if you're with the right people, it really can be a phenomenal experience. So it all depends on your luck of who's around you, and that really makes the biggest difference.
Now you're seeing acts that are depending on touring more and more these days. I mean, you see huge bands that are living basically on the road for years at a time now, due to the fact that they have to do that in order to pay the bills. I mean, with people downloading music and not paying for stuff anymore. Yeah.
And they're the lucky ones who actually can tour and make money. There are a million other people that are trying to tour and trying to be out there and cannot, And me, in the last few years, I've been working so hard to put myself on the road, and it's always an uphill battle. It's not an easy thing to do. So it's not you can't sell your music, you just go on the road and make a ton of money. It's not as, I wish it worked like that. But I mean, that is just the reality of what we're going through nowadays in the music industry. So,
I mean, and you're watching the way things adapt. I mean, from years ago, people got to do the meet and greets now. They got to do these goddamn pre-sales for concerts, which me as a fan kills me. I mean, I mentioned Metallica earlier. They announced their tour yesterday. Pre-sale went on this morning. Tickets don't go on sale to the weekend. Show's already sold out. Tickets haven't even got on sale. You know what I mean?
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, like I said, it's a different thing. I mean, do you do the meet and greets yourself these days?
I haven't really started doing that because a lot of my touring is still disorganized with what's going on, and I never know when I'm gonna get to the venue and what's the situation gonna be like once I get to the venue. So a couple more things still need to be established until I can get to that point where everything is a little bit more organized for me to do that. Cool. But either way, I sell my merchandise and I meet people after my show, so I don't charge for meeting people. I try to meet my fans and make new fans and talk to people as much as I can.
That's awesome, man. I mean, that's really cool. People go to a show, they have a great escape from their world for a couple of hours, and if they get a chance to meet the artist that you just seen, it's not only was it a show, it's a story to tell. You know what I mean? Hey, I just met Ethan, man. He was awesome. Not only did he kick ass on stage, look at this. He signed this weird-looking thing. I think they used to call them CDs back in the day.
Yeah. And now vinyl, too. Brand new technology. It's called vinyl.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah.
I think vinyl is the best thing when I see that at a show, because you got all these young kids that are like, what is this thing? I'm going to buy this big thing.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that actually does in reality, because I just put Conspiracy on vinyl. That's the first vinyl that I've ever made, and this is the first time that I'm going on the road with vinyl, and I'm curious to see what happens.
Well, you know what it is? I think people enjoy it because it's a nice piece of artwork. I mean, me, myself,
absolutely.
When I pick up some vinyl, I'll pick up 2 copies just for one to put on the wall, especially if it's something cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And this one, I can tell you this one is cool because Derek Riggs did the artwork for that, so, you know, how can it not be cool?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, people want to follow up. They want to know more about you. They want to buy some concert tickets. They want to buy the CD. They want to book a guitar lesson. Where are they going to go? What are they going to do?
It's very simple. Just go on my website. Everything is there. It's ethanbrosh.com. It's EthanBrosh. And it's just ethanbrosh.com. And, of course, I'm on social media and all that stuff. But my website will always be my website. You know, it doesn't matter how much Facebook ends up changing or Instagram changes or YouTube decides to, like, I don't know, not show any more of the videos. My website will still be my website. So people can always find me there, and all my music and everything else.
Great, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Ramsey. Appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.
All right, man. Take care.
All right. You too. Thank you.